Hey, I'm Clayton Strems, and I'm going to teach you how to use the Cricut to screen print. So before we get started, it's important to know why to screen print versus doing vinyl. Well, this shirt's a perfect example. I've worn this shirt quite a few times. I want it to last a very long time. It was done with vinyl, and you can see it's already peeling up. In these big sections, it's real wrinkly. I have to iron it every single time. I mean, this shirt's lasted about a year, but the shirt itself has a lot of life. It's the vinyl that's dying on me. So when you go to screen print, it's ink that stays on the shirt and you tend to not have as many issues. So let's not delay, let's jump straight in it and let me show you the supplies.
So obviously you're going to need a Cricut or a Silhouette. I'm rocking a Cricut. It's a good product. They both have their pros and cons. Then we're going to need a mat. I have a standard grip mat here because it just tends to work a little bit better when it's holding down my vinyl getting cut. And then I use the premium vinyl from Cricut. You want to make sure it's removable, because if you don't have removable, then it's going to get stuck to your screen. You're not going to be able to get it off. And this product just tends to work a little bit better for me. We're going to need some transfer tape. You could also use painter's tape if you don't want to spend the extra money. They both work really well. I like to use a combination of the two. And then obviously we're going to want our weeding tool. Now moving over to what we actually need to print the design over on the shirt. So I have a speedball screen right here. They have other screens out there that get real fancy. I like to go easy. You can see this is just a really easy one to use in the grand scheme of things, and you're not getting too complicated. So I also have my speedball ink. I'm going to rock white. It's gone a long way. I've got more than half the container left, and I've done probably 20-25 projects, and it's only about $10. And then you need your squeegee. You're going to use this to bring your ink across the screen. And then obviously whatever you're going to be screen printing on. So go through your software, make sure you measure out your design exactly how you want it, and we're going to stay really simple with this one. We're going to do one color, but you can't get crazy with it and do multiple colors. So whenever you go to cut it, make sure that you actually have it mirrored. You want it mirrored so when we put it on the screen, it's going to lay down on your products the proper direction. And then when we go to weed our vinyl, make sure that you're removing all the parts that you actually want the ink to show on. So you can see on mine, I want my logo, my name, all that type of stuff to show, so I'm actually going to pull out those pieces. Once you get all your weeding done, either use your painter's tape or your transfer tape and throw it on there, peel it off, and then we're going to throw it on the back of the screen. So when you throw it on the back of the screen, it's going to be real easy. Make sure you measure everything out so it's going to be easier when you lay the shirt down. And then you could see I used some painter's tape to cover up everything else where I did not want ink. So you could only see through the screen on where I wanted that ink. So now that we're ready to go, you want to put a piece of paper in between the fabric inside of the shirt. That way, if you have a little bit too much ink on there, it's not going to bleed through the back side of the shirt. And then as we put the screen on our shirt, you want to put a good dab across the side of the screen, and then we are going to just literally pull it across. I pull it across 2 or 3 times, situation depending. I'm still kind of newly fresh on this, but tend to do fairly well, and I really like how my shirts turn out. So just take it nice and slow. You'll hear a little zipping sound as you come across, and then when you go to pull up your screen, be very gentle and pull it up, and you see your beautiful design there.
So once you're done with your design, you want to let it sit depending on the ink you have. So make sure you look up the manufacturer and what they think's best. But for the speedball ink, I let it sit for about a day or two. In this case, I'll just sit for 5 days because I was just out of the office. But now we want to press it on, and there's a couple different ways to do this. You could do it with an iron that you have at home. I have one of those heat presses from Cricut. You could also use one of those really fancy machines if you have them. I don't know what they're called, but they press down your design. Or, like I did with this t-shirt, I just used the dryer. I might have used the iron for a little bit. Times are going to differ, obviously. But I'm pretty sure with this shirt, I know I've done it before at least, that I kicked the dryer on, got it real hot once the ink was dry, and then I threw my shirts in there and just let them tumble for about 10 minutes. And they've worked out really, really well for me. But in this case, I'm going to use the press because I have it. We want to put some kind of paper or cloth over our design so it doesn't get stuck. And I got real fancy using my barbecue paper that I use for my brisket, right? So I have this set at 320 degrees, and I'm just gonna lay it down on top, start my timer, 20 to 30 seconds in this case. If you're using the iron, it's gonna take you longer. You're gonna look more like 2 to 3 minutes. If you're doing the dryer method, 10 minutes, just let it go, let it dry. And those fancy heat shirt press things, I don't have a clue, because I don't have one. Maybe in the future, right? So this is done enough. Yep, we're done. Pull off our paper. It is nice and warm, and our design is done. So as you can see, it's simple. It's super simple to screen print. There's pros and cons to both. You know, screen printing is really awesome when I'm doing a lot of different shirts or hoodies or anything like that, and I want it to last for a very long time. Or if I'm just doing a bunch of them, it's real easy to do, and it goes pretty fast. But if I want a single shirt and it's okay if it doesn't last a long time, then vinyl, like this shirt, is a better route for me at least. So again, it's really easy to do. I hope you learned something. If there's something else I could teach you, feel free to reach out anytime. See ya.